Hiya guys, Storm20111's back from Japan, and let me just say it was an absolute blast for 13 days in Tokyo. I had an absolute grand time in the country, and I cannot wait to actually go back there and probably live my life there. It felt like an amazing country. But anyway, this is my first week of picture vlogs for everyone to see what I did and where I went. And of course, I will also be showing you what I bought in about 2 weeks time. So please do hit that subscribe button to get notified on when my videos do go live. And it also helps the channel grow. We are fast approaching the 400 subscriber mark, and we are fast approaching those live stream Q&A sessions here on the channel. So please do help me out whenever you can if you've enjoyed this video. And let's get started with week 1. The holiday began at London Heathrow Airport with a 14-hour flight to Haneda Airport in Tokyo, and we took off on Christmas Day and we landed on Boxing Day because A, it was a 14-hour flight, and B, there was a 9-hour difference between London and Tokyo. So I tried to get as much sleep as I could on the airplane, and I was still exhausted from the flight alone. I tried as best as I could just to sleep through the entire flight. But we arrived at the early hours of, well, at about 9 o'clock in the morning, 8 or 9 in the morning in Haneda Airport, Tokyo, and boy, did I enjoy the air in the city. It was absolutely fantastic. Our first course of action when we got into Haneda Airport was to get some rail passes to get around Tokyo City. And we deposited 1,000 yen each just to get around the city, and of course to get to our hotel, which was in Kinchicho. And getting to the hotel, it was a bit of a funny moment. We did get lost at one time, but we managed to find our way easily. And when we got to the hotel, it was beautiful. We did not expect to get a hotel as classy as the Tobu Hotel Levant. It was amazing. Unfortunately, we weren't able to check in because all check-ins happen after 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So we left our suitcases there and we headed to our first destination in Tokyo, which was Shibuya. And I was absolutely amazed by everything that was happening in Shibuya. I even saw the famous Shibuya crossing, and it was amazing. I had an absolute blast going around Shibuya. We even stopped in a couple of wrestling stores and even bumped into a wrestler who works for the promotion, and she was really, really nice. And we were even invited to go to the show in Ryogoku Sumo Hall. Of course, we did have to pay for the tickets, but still, it was pretty amazing to go to the show. I'll tell you about that later. But I also wanted to talk about the food that we had while we were in Shibuya. There was a store called Moss Burger, and what I had from there was really nice. Even the melon soda that I drank from that store, it was absolutely delicious. And I'll even tell you about the grape soda in a minute. But where we have been in Shibuya, it was awesome. We even stopped into a huge shopping complex where it held the Nintendo store, a small Pokemon Center, a Capcom store, and a Shonen Jump store where they had Legend of Zelda, Super Mario, One Piece, and Devil May Cry, Mega Man. There was a lot in those stores. It was amazing. And of course, there was even a little pop-up Dragon Quest store where they were also celebrating the launch of Dragon Quest Monsters for the Nintendo Switch. Now, if anybody's ever played the Dragon Quest Monsters games, do let me know down in the comments below, and let me know if I should probably invest some money into those games. I might even make some videos for those on the channel. But I'll also talk about next week, a game, well, 2 weeks time, a game that I bought, which was a Japan exclusive, and I have brought it over to the UK. As soon as it hit 3 o'clock in the afternoon or past that, we returned to Kinchicho where we could check into our hotel. We then freshened up and then moved straight into Akihabara. And let me tell you, from the pictures that I've taken of the district, it was absolutely amazing. We saw lots in Akihabara, not just stores, but also the arcades, but also the cafes that were being promoted across the street. You could definitely see a lot of young ladies trying to promote their stores where they work, and it was just absolutely amazing. I felt at home in Akihabara, and I will tell you more about where I also went in not just this video, but also next week's video as well. So do stay tuned for that. On our second day in Japan, we were trying to get as much sleep as we could because we were exhausted, but the excitement for me, it was just too much and I just couldn't get as much sleep as I wanted. So once we were ready to go into the streets of Tokyo again, we just had a little wander around Kinshicho to see what it was like and of course what was on offer. And then we got on the subway straight to Tokyo Dome City, and it was amazing. There was even a picture where you could see the entire layout and the differences of the dome and of course other famous landmarks as well, including Tokyo Tower. And the size difference, it was amazing. But I will explain all about what happened inside the Tokyo Dome next week. But for now, it was just a matter of going around and seeing some more temples and of course heading to Todokan in Sugamo to see what it was like to be kind of like in a little museum for professional wrestling and all the stuff that was for sale, including CDs, picture books, and of course programs as well, and masks from masked wrestlers. It was amazing. We even went to the official New Japan Pro Wrestling store where they didn't have programs for Wrestle Kingdom on sale at the time, but we did manage to get ourselves a few pro wrestling shirts and of course a towel as well. And it was absolutely really good quality, everything that we bought there. I quite liked it. The store was really good. But as soon as we were done in Suidobashi, we then jumped right back onto the subway to Higashibukuro and to our next main destination, Sunshine City. Now this was a giant shopping center where they had lots of stores for office space and as well as shops including restaurants, fashion brands, and of course more gaming related stores like a Pokemon Center, the second one that I've seen at the time, and a cafe. A Pokemon cafe was also there, as well as a Pokemon Go store where you could connect to their Wi-Fi and then play Pokemon Go, catch more Pokemon. It was absolutely awesome. There was even a Toys R Us store in Sunshine City, and there was even a dedicated section to nanoblocks. And as you can tell by the video, they really love their nanoblocks. There was nanoblocks on sale just throughout this one aisle. It was awesome to look at, and I just was stunned by what they had for sale. It was awesome. And to end the day, we just went to the top of the subway station to grab a bite to eat. We ate on the roof of the subway station and had a nice pizza. And if you were to sit outside during the winter period, they had space heaters near the tables where you could actually sit next to them so that you could stay warm. Although the wind was a bit funny, but there was nothing that we couldn't really say negative about the place. It was really good just to have a rooftop pizza, and I quite liked it. It was really good. For our third day, we didn't even need to get on the subway. We actually walked up to our next destination, which was the Tokyo Sky Tree. Now this was probably one of the tallest buildings in Tokyo at the time, and it was really awe-inspiring. I was intimidated just by the tower itself. But there were also some shops there in the Skytree shopping center underneath the Skytree itself. And you'll never believe what I saw. It was the official Nanoblock store. And boy, did I get plenty of Nanoblocks there. There was lots for me to look at and buy, and I just went ballistic over buying all of this Nanoblock set. It was amazing. And of course there was also another Pokemon Center in the Skytree store, as well as a Kirby Cafe. And those Kirby characters looked adorable. It was just great to see. When we were done at the Skytree, we then walked over to our next destination, which really wasn't far from the Skytree. It was in Asakusa that we went to, where there were lots of proper shrines to spray at, and of course some old-fashioned Tokyo merchant stalls. There was lots for us to do, and of course lots to see and experience. It was a great time being around all those authentic Japanese buildings. It was really breathtaking, and the architects for that, it was absolutely amazing. Then we went to the famous Takeshita Street, which wasn't really that far from Shibuya, and there was a lot of fashion brands there, as well as a body shop, which my brother actually went in and bought himself some spray for the trip. And we then progressed to some more Shinto shrines, not far from where we went to. It was in Yoyogi Park, the shrines, and it was absolutely amazing. We actually spent a good couple of hour or two just walking around, enjoying the peace and quiet around the shrine. It was a really great experience and well worth going. On the 4th day of the trip to Japan, it was time for one of the big wrestling shows of the year, and it was in the world-famous Ryogoku Sumo Hall, and it was for the wrestling promotion Stardom, which is kind of like their big wrestling show at the end of the year. Now, the wrestling show itself was awesome, and the venue was absolutely fantastic. Even walking around the Ryogoku district of the city, it was fantastic to take in the historical lineage of sumo wrestling. We did also hear some unfortunate news during the show in the Sumo Hall at the time. We learned that Curtis Chapman, he was a professional wrestler that worked for Revolution Pro Wrestling. He unfortunately passed away, and the news was broken on social media and everywhere else. I did see some of Kurt's matches in Rev Pro, and I thought he was a very funny character in the ring, and also a great person outside the ring, and I offer my deepest condolences to the family and friends of Curtis Chapman, formerly known as Mad Kurt. But our spirits were not completely dampened by the sad news, because we were still in Japan and we still wanted to have plenty of fun. So our next destination on the second day before the turn of the new year, we went to Shinjuku, and there was a really cool cinema there that had a actual Godzilla statue on the side. It was awesome to see, and the hotel that it was right next to, awe-inspiring. It was just so grand. We even had conveyor belt sushi. The way this conveyor belt sushi works, it's not like the Yo Sushi around the UK. There is a giant screen that you can use to order any food and drinks or desserts, and it would automatically be sent to you via their conveyor belt systems. And I had 8 plates of sushi, including a crab, and one little chocolate dessert. And there was even a little mini game for the system where if you guessed correctly, you would win a fun little prize. And I got this cute little panda toy from the restaurant, and it is adorable. I just loved it. We then popped into an arcade in Shinjuku where there was even some horse racing machines where everyone would wager tokens, because gambling in Japan is illegal and you're not allowed to bet on real money. So there were even token machines there where you could even deposit tokens for the game, and as you drop the tokens into the hole at the end of the machine, you would progress through the game. You'd also need to make sure that if you wanted to keep your progress, you need a special app that you can use to keep track of what you've done. And it is a Dragon Quest game. It is awesome. And for the last day of 2023, me and my brother went back to Akihabara and had a meal in the square Enix Cafe, and the theme that they were running in the cafe at the time was all for Dragon Quest monsters. And the food, oh my god, it was so delicious. It just melted in your mouth. The pancakes were delicious. The ice cream was so soft. Even the frosted fruit was delicious. Even pouring the maple syrup on the pancakes was so good. And the drink was absolutely delicious. Even the wafer that came in the drink could easily be eaten. You didn't even have to take it home with you. There was even some pictures of some Kingdom Hearts artwork in the cafe. I just had to take it. If you haven't seen any of my Kingdom Hearts playthrough yet on the channel, I'll leave the card on the top right of the screen. But we also went around Akihabara again, and we saw some amazing stuff, including a gaming chair where the monitor was attached to the curve of that chair. It was an absolute futuristic setting that I might not be able to afford right now, but hopefully in the future I will. And of course there was also some stores that specialized in Square Enix game products, including Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy, and there was even some Dragon Quest merchandise there as well. We even went to a store where they even had some plastic model kits, including one for Exodia the Forbidden One. It was awesome to look at. Hopefully one day in the future, I would love to build that kit for the channel. It would be awesome. Then we even went to Harajuku for a little bit to see what it was like in the streets of another district of Tokyo, and it was beautiful. Apparently the nightlife in Harajuku was something amazing. Unfortunately, I didn't have the opportunity to see it, but I did have a great opportunity to bring in the new year from Japan outside of my hotel and with the Tokyo Skytree in the background. And that is it for the first week of my trip to Japan. It was amazing. I hope that you can look forward to my next video, which will be next week, on my second week in Japan, where there is more pictures and hopefully some more video footage to share. So if you did enjoy it, please do hit that subscribe button and share the channel with everybody else. I am confident that we will hit the 400 mark soon, so that I can do live streams here on the YouTube channel. But for now, it's happy gaming guys, sayonara, and I shall see you next week.